So, what's up, Tech Explorers? And welcome back to Tech Trek TV. It's good to have you here. For anyone new, this is your go-to source for deep dives into innovation, future tech, and the digital trends that are actually shaping our world. We cut through the noise to get to what really matters. If you've ever wondered what it would feel like to live in a sci-fi movie, look around. The future is happening right now. It might not be flying cars everywhere just yet, but the subtle and not so subtle shifts are undeniable. And that brings us to today's topic. 2025 isn't just another year on the calendar. It's shaping up to be a defining year for technology. We're not talking about incremental updates or slightly faster processors. We're talking about genuine, paradigm-shifting innovations that are fundamentally changing how we work, live, and interact with the world around us. These are the technologies that will be the bedrock for the next decade of progress, and they're arriving sooner than you might think. So, this is our deep dive into the 5 most important ones. We're going to break down what they are, why they matter, and what they mean for you. This is the stuff that's moving from research labs and niche applications into the mainstream. It's the tech that will define the conversation for the year. So strap in. Let's get into our countdown of the 5 game-changing tech innovations of 2025. Alright, so kicking things off at number 5, we have Generative AI 2.0. Now I know what you're thinking, AI, we've been talking about that for years. But 2025 is where we see a major leap. We're moving past the novelty of simply generating text prompts or cool-looking images. This next wave is about creating entire, cohesive experiences. It's about multimodality, where AI understands and generates not just one type of content, but blends them all seamlessly. Think about it this way, instead of just writing a script, the AI can generate the script, create the storyboard, produce a synthetic voiceover, and then generate the actual video footage to match, all from a single, high-level prompt. We're seeing tools like OpenAI's Sora, Google's Veo, and others mature at an incredible pace. What was a blurry, uncanny 10-second clip a year ago is now a crisp, coherent, minute-long narrative scene. The implications for content creation are massive, but it's not just about video. This extends to code generation. Developers can now use AI assistants that don't just suggest a line of code, but build entire functional modules, debug complex systems, and even translate legacy codebases into modern languages. It's like having an infinitely patient, incredibly knowledgeable senior developer as a partner 24/7. This drastically lowers the barrier to entry for software development and accelerates innovation cycles for established companies. What this really represents is the true democratization of creation. For decades, bringing a complex idea to life required a specific set of technical skills, whether that was filmmaking, coding, or 3-dimensional modeling. You needed the training, the expensive software, and the time. Generative AI 2.0 is systematically dismantling those barriers. It's shifting the focus from technical execution to the quality and originality of the idea itself. The core concept here is the removal of friction. It's about closing the gap between imagination and final product. If you can describe it, you can create it. This will unlock a wave of creativity from people who previously felt locked out of these fields. We're going to see new forms of art, new types of applications, and new businesses emerge simply because the tools are finally accessible to everyone, not just the specialists. So, while the headlines might focus on the wow factor of AI-generated videos, the real story of 2025 is how this technology becomes a fundamental utility. It's less of a specific product and more like a new layer of the internet, a creative and logical engine that anyone can tap into. It's a foundational shift, and it's why it's our number 5. Coming in at number 4 is a topic that has felt like permanent science fiction: quantum computing. For years, it's been this highly theoretical, abstract concept confined to university labs and massive, cryogenically frozen machines. But in 2025, we're seeing the narrative change. It's moving from what if to how to. The focus is shifting from building stable qubits to finding practical, real-world problems that these machines can actually solve today. We're not talking about quantum laptops on every desk, that's still decades away. Instead, we're seeing the rise of quantum-as-a-service platforms. Companies like IBM, Google, and a host of startups are making their quantum hardware accessible through the cloud. This means researchers and corporations can now run complex simulations without needing to build their own multi-million-dollar quantum computer. It's a game changer for accessibility. So, where is this being applied? One of the biggest areas is drug discovery and materials science. A classical computer struggles to simulate the interactions of complex molecules, but this is exactly what quantum computers are built for. By accurately modeling these interactions, pharmaceutical companies can design new drugs and treatments with incredible precision, drastically cutting down the time and cost of research and development. We're talking about developing new medicines in years, not decades. Another huge field is logistics and finance. Think about optimizing a global supply chain for a company like Amazon or FedEx. The number of variables, routes, fuel costs, weather, vehicle capacity is astronomical. A classical computer can only find a good enough solution. A quantum computer, by its very nature, can explore all possibilities simultaneously to find the truly optimal solution, saving billions in efficiency. The same principle applies to financial modeling for risk assessment and portfolio optimization. The key takeaway here is that quantum computing isn't here to replace your laptop. It's here to solve a very specific class of problems that are currently unsolvable. These are the needle in a haystack problems, but where the haystack is larger than the known universe. These machines are designed to tackle that scale of complexity, which is why they are so disruptive to high-level, data-intensive industries. So, in 2025, when you hear about quantum computing, don't just picture a crazy-looking machine in a lab. Picture a team of scientists discovering a new life-saving molecule, or a logistics network running with near-perfect efficiency, or a new material that could revolutionize battery technology. The hardware is the enabler, but the practical applications are where the real revolution is happening. It's a slow burn, but the fire has definitely been lit. At number 3, we're looking at an evolution so personal it's literally under our skin. We're moving past wearable tech and into the era of body tech. For years, wearables have been devices we put on, a watch, a ring, a headset. They were accessories. But in 2025, the line between the device and the body is blurring significantly. The technology is becoming less of an accessory and more of an integrated part of us. The most visible example of this is the smart contact lens. Companies like Mojo Vision and others have been working on this for years, and we're finally at the point of seeing viable, consumer-focused prototypes. Imagine having a discrete heads-up display directly in your field of vision. It could show you navigation prompts, notifications, or real-time translation without you ever having to look down at a screen. It's the ultimate promise of augmented reality, delivered in the most seamless way possible. But it goes deeper than just vision. We're seeing a surge in health implants that offer continuous, real-time monitoring far beyond what a smartwatch can do. Think tiny injectable sensors that track blood glucose for diabetics with pinpoint accuracy, or smart stents that monitor blood flow and can predict a cardiac event before it happens. This isn't about fitness tracking, it's about proactive, life-saving medical intervention. The tech becomes a silent guardian inside you, and it's not just about input and monitoring, it's about output and sensation. Haptic feedback wearables are getting incredibly sophisticated. We're moving beyond a simple phone vibration to full-body suits or vests that can simulate a huge range of sensations. For gaming and VR, this means unprecedented immersion. But think bigger. A surgeon could use a haptic glove to feel the tissue during a remote robotic surgery, or a technician could be guided through a complex repair by touch. This shift from on the body to in the body or part of the body is a profound psychological and practical leap. It changes our relationship with technology from a tool we use to a sense we have. It enhances our natural capabilities. The focus is on making the technology disappear, integrating it so seamlessly that it feels like an extension of your own body, enhancing health, communication, and overall productivity. Of course, this raises huge questions about privacy, security, and what it means to be human. These are conversations we need to have, but the trend is clear. In 2025, the ultimate user interface is the human body itself. The devices are shrinking, the sensors are becoming more integrated, and the barrier between digital and biological is becoming incredibly thin. Alright, for our number 2 spot, we're zooming out from the individual to the collective. We're talking about the rise of the truly smart city, powered by AI-driven urban planning. This has been a buzzword for a while, but 2025 is where the integrated systems start to deliver on the promise. It's not just about having a few smart traffic lights or public Wi-Fi. It's about creating a city-wide neural network that can sense, analyze, and optimize urban life in real time. The most immediate impact is on traffic and mobility. Instead of relying on pre-programmed timers, AI-powered traffic systems use a network of sensors and cameras to understand traffic flow across the entire city. The system can dynamically adjust light timings to clear congestion, reroute traffic around an accident before a jam even forms, and prioritize public transport to keep schedules on time. It's about treating traffic like a fluid system, not a collection of individual cars. Then, there are the utilities, the invisible infrastructure that keeps a city running. Smart grids can predict energy demand and reroute power to prevent blackouts during peak usage. Smart water systems can use acoustic sensors to detect leaks in pipes deep underground long before they become catastrophic breaks, saving millions of gallons of water and avoiding costly repairs. It's a shift from reactive maintenance to predictive, preventative care for the city itself. This predictive capability is a core theme. Municipal services are being transformed. AI can analyze historical data and real-time inputs to predict where and when services will be needed most. For example, sanitation departments can optimize garbage collection routes based on real-time data from smart bins that signal when they're full. Emergency services can use predictive models to pre-position ambulances in areas with a high probability of calls, cutting down response times when seconds matter most. What this all adds up to is a city that is safer, more efficient, and more sustainable. By optimizing resource usage from electricity to water to fuel, these cities drastically reduce their environmental footprint. By reducing congestion and improving public services, they improve the daily quality of life for their citizens. The city stops being a static collection of concrete and steel and becomes a responsive, living organism. The challenge, of course, is massive. It requires huge investment, public-private partnerships, and most importantly, a robust framework for data privacy and security. But we're seeing cities like Singapore, Helsinki, and Seoul make huge strides, creating blueprints that others can follow. In 2025, the conversation is moving from isolated pilot projects to city-scale deployments, creating urban environments that truly work for the people who live in them. And that brings us to our #1 game-changing innovation for 2025. It's a concept that ties all the others together: personalized everything. This is the culmination of AI, big data, and advanced sensor technology. We are witnessing a fundamental shift away from the one-size-fits-all model that has dominated society for centuries, and toward a future where our experiences, products, and services are tailored specifically to us as individuals. Let's start with retail and e-commerce. This goes way beyond showing you ads for something you just searched for. We're talking about hyper-personalization. AI can analyze your past purchases, browsing habits, and even stylistic preferences from your social media to curate a shopping experience that is uniquely yours. It might generate custom clothing designs that fit your exact measurements and taste, or create a personalized meal plan and automatically populate your grocery cart with the necessary ingredients. This hyper-personalization is even more powerful in healthcare. Imagine a healthcare plan designed not for the average person, but for your specific genetic makeup, lifestyle, and environment. With data from your body tech sensors and genomic sequencing, doctors can move from treating diseases to preventing them. Your treatment plan, medication dosage, and dietary advice can be continuously optimized based on your body's real-time feedback, leading to dramatically better health outcomes. Education is another field being transformed. Instead of a standardized curriculum where every student learns at the same pace, AI-powered learning platforms can adapt to each student's individual learning style, strengths, and weaknesses. If a student is struggling with a concept, the system can provide alternative explanations or practice problems. If they're excelling, it can introduce more advanced topics. It's a personal tutor for every single student, ensuring no one gets left behind. This is all about moving from averages to individuals. The one-size-fits-all approach was a limitation of the industrial age, a necessity born from the inability to process information at scale. Now with the power of AI and data analytics, we can finally cater to the unique needs of every single person. It's about optimizing for the best possible outcome. Whether that's finding the perfect product, achieving optimal health, or mastering a new skill. The core principle is a deep understanding of the individual, leading to a world that adapts to you, rather than you having to adapt to it. This is the ultimate promise of the digital age. It's the thread that connects improvements in AI, the data from our bodies and cities, and the computational power to process it all. In 2025, this isn't a futuristic dream, it's the new baseline for user experience, and it's fundamentally reshaping our expectations for every interaction we have. So there you have it. Generative AI, quantum computing, body tech, smart cities, and hyper-personalization. Looking at this list, it's clear that 2025 is more than just a milestone. It's a genuine turning point. These technologies aren't happening in a vacuum. They're converging and building on each other to create a future that is more intelligent, more integrated, and more personalized than ever before. This is the moment where the foundational pieces for the next decade really lock into place. But with great power comes great responsibility. As these innovations become more ingrained in our lives, it's on all of us to learn, adapt, and most importantly, think critically and ethically about their deployment. These are powerful tools, and we need to have open conversations about privacy, equity, and the kind of world we want to build with them. So I invite you to get involved, read, discuss, and help shape the future. It's not a spectator sport. Here at Tech Trek TV, we'll be right there with you, continuing to track these major innovations, breaking down their complexities, and keeping you ahead of the curve. Because remember, the future isn't something we wait for, it's something we create. Thanks for tuning in today. If you found this breakdown valuable, do me a favor and hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. Until next time, keep trekking forward.